Hey guys, it's me, Crispy, and today I'm going to make a lightsaber for the first time, and I can't wait. Let's get on in there and do it.
Before we get started, if you look around the room, you will see some of my greatest friends. Look at their smiling faces. There it is. Don't worry, you get to meet them for yourself later. In the meantime, you may call me Kembek. And since we are looking around, I think I can tell what you are all actually thinking. This looks a lot like old junk, right? It's okay, I like that honesty. It does.
I like junk. Junk is cool.
Okay, good. So do we. It looks like old junk, but it's not. Some of this is new junk.
Hey!
Wow. We like junk too. Yeah, it's a terrible joke. Look at Steven in the background. That's that pity clap that I always wait for. We call ourselves the Gatherers, and we too value the old junk, the new junk, the relics that are left behind. We search the galaxy and gather those pieces to bring here to the workshop. That way, if the stormtrooper came through the door, this would all just look like worthless clutter to them. But we know that this is priceless history. And speaking of history, you know the legend of Luke Skywalker, yes?
Yes!
Oh, very good. We hear there's another, a new Jedi. Does anyone know her name?
Right.
Well, Rey is leading it, that spark of hope. That change in the galaxy that brought each and every one of you here today. And it brought you here to build a lightsaber. The lightsaber has been wielded by our greatest heroes and also our darkest enemies. It is elegant and enigmatic, and to build a lightsaber, it's an art. What's that reaction? Do you like it? Don't worry, it's about time for the builder to experience that connection to the Force for themselves. Let's not wait any longer. You're right, let's move on. Shall we begin?
Yes!
Good. We begin with the Kyber crystal. And the Kyber crystal is very rare because it actually is able to focus the energy of the Force. It's able to magnify it. Some say the Kyber crystal is the heart of your lightsaber because the color of your crystal will determine the color of your blade. You've probably heard of some of these crystals in the greatest Jedi legends in history. Like the blue crystal, wielded by Master Obi-Wan Kenobi and his apprentice Anakin Skywalker, and now Rey. The green crystal, Qui-Gon Jinn, Ahsoka Tano, Master Yoda himself, and Luke Skywalker. And of course, the violet crystal. Yes, this one is very rare and very beautiful. It's just like the one wielded by Master Mace Windu. And red. That's right, you've heard of it. Some call this the color of power. It is wielded by Darth Maul, Asajj Ventress, Darth Vader, and now Kylo Ren. But we are not here to talk about the past. You're right, we laugh at our enemies. No, we are here for our future. Let's choose your Kyber crystal, but before we do, take just a moment, close your eyes, and think of one of those 4 crystals. Let the color come to mind. Picture that crystal in your mind, and open your eyes. Reach out and select your Kyber crystal. That frees up your hands because in just a moment you will be assembling your hilts right up there. Very good. Now let your pieces come to you. There you go. Leave it behind. Put it on your car. Very good. Don't get started just yet. This is your first test. It is the test of restraint. It is the hardest part, and it only lasts for about 30 seconds. Don't worry, we will begin in just a minute. Beautiful. All right, builders, so what I'm going to do is tell you what you're looking at, and then we will officially begin. In that box, you will find your chassis, your activation plates, your grips, your emitters, and your pommel caps. Building a lightsaber is a personal journey. You have every piece you need to create your unique lightsaber, but the most important thing you need is the gatherer standing in front of you because they will lead you along this journey. Now, builders, are you ready? Let's build.
What do you think? Yeah.
So much heavier than you expect.
Yeah.
Heavy, right? With this emitter, balance each other out pretty well, so that you can switch to that reverse grip and have a good center balance, so that you can work with the ring cord to as a mode of defense as well as the lightsaber. That's a great choice. Nice work. To you, sir. How do you feel? So they say that the woodcutters are those who have this ability to make groups or make allies for everything else. That makes sense why you have a corner on your shoulder. They often say that free work all around, builders. You should be proud of what you've created. But if you would, leave those hilts behind and take a big step towards the back of the room. This part can and often does get dangerous. I'm sure that medium step will keep us all safe. It is a small room. But occasionally the stabilization chambers do like to not be stable. When that happens, we have an explosively good time in the workshop. Looks like Stephen has recognized the issue before we get to that point. And it's a good thing he did, because earlier this morning, he did not. And if you look around the room, you will see that your dwellings need a hole just blasted straight through the ceiling. We will happily come by. We haven't discussed rates or anything like that. It's still in the developmental phase. But you know what? I think that Stephen's Joe's would be very good at that. What do you think?
We'll always go out with a bang.
Oh, I like that slogan. Look at that. We're workshopping. Excellent work. So now, wait, that's not.
Many folks now join they are. Yes, Lightsaber. It begins. It is time. Your journey.
Master Yoda. It is indeed time. Now, builders, in just a moment, the bond between Saber and Builder will be officially forged. On my count, I will have you step forward and you will place your hand on your hilt. But wait for me to say activate, because together we will activate for the very first time. Builders, are you ready?
Yes.
Step forward. Place your hands on your hilts. activate. Builders, raise your lightsabers. You have created a lightsaber, and now you are like the Jedi and Sith that have come before you. You will change the galaxy just like they did, but remember, builders, it only takes just a spark. Excellent work all around, but if you would, deactivate your lightsabers. Then lower them just for a moment.
Complete your lightsaber is. Like you when it can, but lead you, it cannot. Your journey, you both begin. May the Force be with you.
Thank you, Master Yoda. Builders, in your hands you hold remarkable power. Remarkable power should not be dropped on the ground. So to prevent that, we are pleased to present a saber sheath to you as you depart today. Now, as we go into the galaxy, just remember you are just as unique and just as extraordinary as that lightsaber that guides your way. Next time, we might just be telling your story. And you know what? I think I can tell what we all want to do before you leave. So if you would, raise your sabers high once more and activate. Congratulations, builders, until the spire. If you are ready, right this way. Don't forget your saber sheets out there.
Now, before I get into my review, I ask that you share a little pixie dust my way, hit that like and subscribe button, give that bell a ring-a-ding-ding. Now, let's go ahead and get into the review. Now, just like anything at Disney that costs a decent chunk of change, you might waffle back and forth on whether it's worth it or not. I know I did. I managed to snag a reservation for this 2 days before our day at Hollywood Studios. We actually didn't even have a day at Hollywood Studios planned, but when I snagged that reservation, I made sure to get one. Unfortunately, it's not as simple as just going to the parks anymore, now with the park pass reservation system, so I had to make sure I could get that day at the park. Up until the day before, I still wasn't sure if it was worth the money. So, let me tell you my thoughts on if it was worth it to me. Now, I'm obviously not going to tell you, hey, go do this, because that's your money, and it's not my job to tell you how to spend your money. It's my job to tell you if I believe it might be worth spending that money. And then from there, it's up to you to decide if what I tell you and what you have seen here is worth spending $230 to build a lightsaber. Personally, I loved it. It was much more than just creating a lightsaber. It was an entire experience. The moment that I walked through the door, I instantly had chills seeing all the memorabilia on the walls, or junk as they called it. It just blew my mind seeing that stuff. And then when she started explaining everything and Yoda started talking, as a Star Wars fan, I couldn't have asked for much more. So to me personally, it was worth it because I am such a huge Star Wars fan. And the matter of fact, I want to build the other 3 styles of lightsabers. Not only for the lightsaber themselves, but what they don't tell you is you get a special pin depending on which lightsaber you decide to design. And with that being said, I love collecting Disney pins, so not only do I want the other 3 types of sabers for the sabers themselves, but I want those other 3 pins that I could display on my Star Wars hat. So with all that being said, you get the lightsaber, the pin, and the carrying case that all add up to your $230 cost. It's all included in that price, plus the experience itself, which lasts roughly 18 minutes or so. I hope this video helped if you were on the fence about doing this experience or not. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell. I really appreciate it. And make sure to spread a little bit of magic in your everyday life. And I'll see you real soon.